TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Paula Dagnan. Police in Hazleton are investigating reports of shots fired into a residence. Numerous rounds were fired yesterday around 2:30 in the afternoon in the area of Grant and 11th Streets. Bullets struck 3 homes and damaged 2 vehicles. No injuries were reported, but one neighbor said a bullet came through his living room as his wife was lying on the couch. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Hazleton Police Department. A man accused of kidnapping and sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl was arraigned this morning. 45-year-old John Watson was captured by U.S. Marshals last month in Cleveland following a 2-month-long manhunt. Watson allegedly abducted the girl in October and held her captive for 3 days before taking her to a hotel in Plains Township, where she was able to escape and contact police. Watson was charged with false imprisonment of a minor, sexual assault, and other offenses. He was brought back to Luzerne County this morning to be arraigned. An alleged Hazleton drug dealer turned himself in back on December 30th. An arrest warrant was issued by the Hazleton Police Narcotics Unit for Christopher Espinosa. He was wanted on several drug charges stemming from a narcotics investigation conducted back in 2020 when Espinosa allegedly arranged several sales of fentanyl to a confidential informant. The investigation revealed he and his associates distributed approximately 1,800 packets of suspected fentanyl. He was arraigned on charges of delivery of a controlled substance, possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, criminal use of a communication facility, and conspiracy. He was taken to Luzerne County Prison for lack of $150,000 straight cash bail. Authorities in Luzerne County discovered that a smash-and-grab robber had a lengthy criminal history. Kingston police arrested 54-year-old Danny Lee Haggard of Philadelphia on Monday for his involvement with convenience store robberies in Kingston, Pittston, and Swoyersville. Before being arrested, Haggard led police on a chase and lost control of the vehicle in 40 Fort. He then fled on foot and punched an officer 3 times in the chest before being taken into custody. He's suspected of nearly a dozen burglaries in the area and has 17 previous convictions dating back to 1999 in the Philadelphia area. His latest charges include burglary, theft, criminal trespass, and possessing instruments of a crime. He was taken to prison for lack of $5,000 bail. A state representative from Kingston is reviewing options for expanding the county prison in Luzerne County. The prison on Water Street in Wilkes-Barre has seen a large capacity of inmates since the 1990s. The head of Correctional Services, Mark Rakovich, said the prison has been seeing overcrowding and needs to be expanded. He requested $11.8 million back in November from American Rescue Plan funds to expand and repair the current prison. State Representative Aaron Coffer is asking County Council to consider taking over the SCI at Retreat that was closed back in June, and county officials are now planning to tour the institution to assess its condition. There is a possibility that the county could purchase the property from the state for a cost of $1, as opposed to building a new county prison for a price tag of around $200 million. Coffer has also been talking with other officials about the operational expenses with those familiar with the SCI facility. The Biden administration announced yesterday that private health companies will be required to cover costs of at-home COVID testing. Beginning January 15th, insurance companies will pay for up to 8 tests a month. Customers can receive a reimbursement from their health insurance by submitting receipts to their providers. Health insurers will also continue to cover costs of rapid and PCR tests ordered by the patient's primary care provider. The American Red Cross has declared its first ever national blood supply crisis. The Red Cross releasing a statement on Monday saying that blood centers across the country have reported less than a one-day's supply of blood types within the past few weeks. Donor turnout has been low in part due to the ongoing pandemic, as well as staffing shortages and blood drive cancellations. The organization encourages people to roll up their sleeves and donate. All blood types are needed, especially O positive and negative. People who give blood in January will also be entered to win 2 tickets to the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. The prize package includes hotel, airfare, and a $500 gift card. If you would like more information, visit redcross.org. Dementi's Ice Bar is inviting local organizations to participate in a winter extravaganza. Your organization can choose a night to host a party in the Ice Bar and will receive 50% off the $5 admission and beverage sales from the evening. A donation box will also serve as a fundraiser. The Alice C. Wiltsey Performing Arts Center is already participating in the Dementi's Ice for You to See. Their fundraiser will be held on January 14th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Dementi's on Bowman's Mill Road in West Hazleton. There will be guest bartenders for the evening and chances for a raffle to win a baseball signed by Bernie Williams, Joe Madden, and David Ross. You can call 570-861-8141 or email ICE, the number 4, the letter U, the number 2, and the letter C, .dementis@gmail.com to learn more. The Giant Company's Feeding School Kids initiative is making a return this year. From now through February 28th, customers are invited to round up their purchases to the nearest dollar or convert their choice points into a donation for their local public schools' food programs. The initiative was launched last year to address childhood hunger in local public school districts throughout the communities that Giant serves and raised more than $1.3 million. The funds help school districts cover outstanding student meal debt, expand food distribution programs, create on-campus food pantries, and supply extra weekend meals. Giant will donate $250,000 to the program this year, so you can head to giantfoodstores.com and find out more about how you can help. More Herbs have announced a recall of its Angel formula for infants. FDA testing found that it did not meet specific nutrition and labeling requirements for infant formula, even though it's marketed as such. Testing found that iron, sodium, and potassium in the formula were well over the maximum allowed, which could lead to potential iron overload and/or electrolyte imbalances. The recalled Angel formula was sold at More Herb stores in Detroit, where it is based, and online at moreherbs.com. It was sold in 16-ounce plastic bottles, and the label does not have any UPC or lot codes. The company said there are no reports of illnesses or injuries regarding the recall so far, but people are being urged to throw it away or return it for a refund. If you have questions, you can call the company at 313-583-9709. Coming up on WYLN News, the underdog Bulldogs pull through with a big win. Plus, it's game day. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Charlie. I am 8, and the forecast for tomorrow is partly cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
We all need a midweek pick-me-up, and WYLN TV 35 is your home for good news on Wednesdays. All our good news stories will be printed in the WYLN TV Pennies Classified Good News Bulletin, distributed throughout the community and digitally posted on WYLN News Facebook page and on our website. If you have good news to share, contact us to be featured in our special Good News edition. Good events, good people, good jobs, all good news.
A reminder, all PennDOT driver's license and photo centers will be closed in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. All PennDOT driver's license and photo centers, including the Riverfront Office Center in Harrisburg, will be closed from Saturday, January 15th through Monday, January 17th. Customers can still obtain a variety of driver and vehicle products and services online 24/7 at no additional cost by visiting dmv.pa.gov. Motorists can also check the conditions on major roadway miles at 511pa.com or by downloading the mobile app. The University of Georgia sealed the sweetest victory in the program's history against the University of Alabama Monday by getting its first national title in more than 40 years. The Bulldogs vanquished the rival Crimson Tide in Indianapolis, Indiana yesterday. The final 33-18, and they walked out of Lucas Oil Stadium with their first college football playoff title since 1980. Prior to Monday night, number 1 Alabama had won 7 straight games against number 3 Georgia. Our WYLN sports crew is already down in Plymouth, gearing up for its next 2022 high school basketball game. We kick off some live Cougar Spartans action tonight when the ball is in Wyoming Valley West Court for the boys matchup against Hazleton. Get your favorite fill of Marty Burns, Joe DeMelfi, and our WYLN sports crew, bringing you the event, not just the highlights. No plans tonight? No problem. Got some? Cancel them. Instead, tune in for the 7:30 tip-off for all the live local action right here on WYLN TV. Coming up on Plymouth's News Choice, we bring back online harassment on this Trooper Talk Tuesday. Plus, Leading the Way, Part 2. Stay with us.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
When emergency strikes, trust your care to the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. With a facility that's now twice the size. Experienced nurses who see you right away. A quick assessment process makes sure you get the care you need. Advanced technology on site. Safe, private treatment rooms, and a peace of mind that only this level of care can bring. When it matters most, trust your partner in emergency care. Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Hello and welcome to our Trooper Talk Tuesday on Community and You. We're joined as always by Trooper Anthony Petrosky. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And today, folks, we're going to be diving in. It's January, and right now we're dealing with a lot of things. But more importantly, we're going to be diving into some online issues that are going on. There's a lot of political debate. There's a lot of things going on. There are a lot of people posting online. And whether these are real posts or fake posts, you know, there's all the arguments about whether it's true or false, and people are arguing back and forth, and things get really heated. And especially nowadays, we are seeing things get more and more heated and escalating really quickly. So we're just going to talk about a few things with how to treat each other, what to watch out for if you're online and you see something, and how to report it and what to do about that. But why don't we start off just what's the general, you know, politeness that we should be experiencing?
So, you know, one big thing is this has been the year of doing everything virtual, right, because of COVID-19, and that's going to continue to happen for a while, at least it looks like. So online crimes have been up. They've been up because, you know, kids are in school now online, people are working from home, so your chances of being a victim of a crime through the internet are a lot higher. And with that, there's been a lot of harassment crimes over the internet, and people tend to think that because they do it over social media through a text or some sort of app that they can't get in trouble for it, and that's false. You can get arrested. As a matter of fact, you can get arrested for harassment by communications. And what that means is you use some sort of technology to do the harassing. Your phone, a tablet, a smartwatch, whatever it might be. And that's actually a pretty serious charge. It would be done on a criminal complaint, and you would go before a magistrate to be arraigned on those charges. It's not worth it. There's still rules that we have to follow. There's still laws, even on the internet. There's no internet police. There's no social media police. But if a crime is committed on the internet, it could be investigated and you could be charged for it.
And if you're somebody who's, not participating in that crime, but you're online and maybe you're a parent seeing your children online and you see some individual who's commenting on their stuff and maybe bothering them, or maybe you're a friend or coworker who sees another friend or coworker getting harassed.
Right.
What should you do in those situations?
It goes back to the rule of thumb. See something, say something, right? So if you see something going on and you don't do anything about it, you're not helping the solution. So if you see something going on, say something. Call 911, call the police department. If it's not an immediate emergency, call the police department. We can look into it. Pennsylvania State Police specifically has an internet crimes unit where troopers are highly trained, and that's all they do is investigate crimes over the internet. We can download devices, we can get search warrants, we can get all the information that people may think is gone and is nowhere to be found anymore, and we can recover that information. So, don't be afraid to say something. You never know what could happen. So if you see something threatening, anything like that, say something.
And that kind of goes into another topic with online. There's a lot of predatory online presence, especially now with it, like you said, a lot of people being online. And recently in this area, we've just seen, unfortunately, the consequences of online dating site and what that can lead to. What are kind of signs and factors, if you have any knowledge, or if there's any kind of warning signs for people to just make sure that they double check things?
Yeah, you know what? Know who you're talking to. It's very dangerous to meet somebody in person that you've only ever talked to on the internet. You don't truly know that person's identity or their intentions. Trust your gut instinct. If it doesn't feel right, don't go through with it. Don't feel pressure to give somebody money, photos, things like that. And always run it by somebody else. If something doesn't seem right, maybe have somebody else take a look at it. But don't feel pressured. Be very careful. If you do decide to meet somebody, meet them in a well-lit area, a busy area. This way, if something were to go wrong, you could yell for help. Always have your phone on you. But again, use caution. Know who you're talking to and know what their intentions may or may not be. And if they're not good, don't go through with it.
All right, folks. The internet is a wild place. It is one of the wildest places that is around these days, and there's a lot going on now that people are at home and online a lot more. So whether it's yourself or a loved one who is on the internet and experiencing harassment, please find a way to report it. Please find a way to get in contact with law enforcement if there is something serious going on, and be careful who you talk to. Be careful what's out there. It goes back to a long old saying of stranger danger.
Absolutely.
And the internet, it definitely has some strangers on it. So make sure that you know if you're meeting up with somebody, who you're meeting up with, and just be cautious. It is a time to be cautious, but not to over worry as well. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for joining us here on Trooper Talk Tuesday on Community and You on Wyln TV.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
WYLN, first in live local sports. The winter sports season is here. Catch these games live on WYLN this week. Moore & Associates, accountants and advisors located at 751 North Church Street in Hazleton. Contact them for all your individual and business tax and accounting needs. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN is going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Mayor George Brown is leading the way again into part 2 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with Wilkes-Barre Mayor George Brown. So we were just discussing kind of how you went from this career in politics. You were a councilman. You then decided to run for mayor. Tell us about that campaign, that effort, working on that and getting to this position now.
Sure. Well, I ran against an incumbent mayor. When you run against an incumbent mayor or any other office, it's very difficult because I didn't have a lot of money in my campaign fund. Started with $1,750, but we decided to do a grassroots campaign. What I mean by that is we held an office where we put a large map of the city of Wilkes-Barre. And as we would walk down the street, my followers and I, my campaign workers, we'd cross off that street. Now there's over 600 streets in the city of Wilkes-Barre. Before our campaign was over, we walked on every single street. So the reason that I won was because of the campaign volunteers that I had. When we decided to run for mayor, we had an opening announcement. Terrible weather in February. It was 15 degrees out. It's icy. And I said to my wife, I said, Mayor, we're going to have just our grandkids and our kids here tonight, so we must have set up 20 chairs. It was at a place called Rodano's in Wilkes-Barre. So we rented out the back room. We set up 20 chairs. By the time we started the evening, the back room was filled and the restaurant was opened up. So we had over 200 people that came out for the opening announcement. So the next step was, after we did that, was to do the petitions. And we were very lucky once again. We had so many people out there knocking on doors in bad weather, getting petition signatures. We had well over the amount that we needed. So the next step was, how do we get the message out about what George Brown is about? People knew me in District A where I was a councilman, but the other 4 districts, I had to let them know why I was a better candidate than the current mayor. And with my background being in business for 38 years, the other things that I've done in my life, I felt we could show the people, I know how to run a business. Well, I want to run the city of Wilkes-Barre like a business.
All right, folks. Check back tomorrow night as Mayor Brown continues leading the way into part 3 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source